Hello and welcome back to Buckle Up. I'm Harry King and this is a T6 Transporter, and today I'm going to find out if it's the ultimate lifestyle vehicle. So we'll start here at the front, where the first thing to say is this is a van. So there's not a huge amount of styling going on here, but you do get VW's new corporate face that they first presented on the Mark 7 Golf, which means you get much nicer headlights than previous generations. Look how sleek these are. And this badge is a stonker. Right, now moving down the side, I think let's address the fact that this has been thoroughly lifestyled. So you have these large aftermarket wheels, and then you have these chrome side steps, and then you have an option that you will not see on a lot of these vans, unless they are camper vans. Automatic side doors. Look at all that space. And look, I could close it again as well to match your shiny chrome rock rails, I guess. This is the front wheel drive van though. It's not the all-wheel drive one, but it's got chrome rock rails, and to match them you've got chrome roof rails that you would struggle to actually attach anything to. And then my favourite, personally my favourite bit, and Rob's as well I believe, are these mud flaps that are about 4 inches too far back, but if you look very closely they line up beautifully with the edge of the wheel arch, and that's what's really important, isn't it? To the back! Right, and round here, yet again, it's a van, so this is literally just a big slab of metal, but there are a couple of badges on it. So obviously we've got Transporter, another VW badge, and then the model badge, which says T30, which is the weight capacity, TDI, obviously, Blue Motion technology, which means it's good for the earth, and then 210, which we're slightly confused by, because on the listing for this van it says it has 180 brake horsepower. So maybe if a VW person could explain that to me in the comments, I'd love to know what that's all about. But let's open up this honking great tailgate and see what lies beneath. It's a van, but not just any van. This has also been pretty much lifestyled. So you've got a lovely squidgy floor in here. Don't know if anyone else has ever crawled into the back of a van before, but usually they're made of like plywood or metal, and it hurts. This is great. You could host a children's party in here. No, you can't have kids in van. No, that's not allowed. No. You've also got a cutout here that's been expertly done, I'm guessing, for skis. And you have these lovely springs that you get free if you buy this van, because this is on lowered comfort springs. Whatever that means. Well, we'll see what that means on the drive, I guess. There's a couple of other things in here. I will have to reach quite a long way now, but there are some light switches. Wow, look at that. And there's enough space. Well, here's the thing. You measure how much a van will take in it, not in litres, but in Euro pallets, which this can still take one of, even though it's got the bulkhead here and a middle row of seats. Speaking of the seats, let's go see what they're like. So now you join me in the back of the Transporter, where, look, there is a full bench seat, big enough for 3 adults. You won't find that in many cars. You also get these windows, which operate like that. And now you can put your arm out of the window. And that's literally it. There's some lights in here, the controls for which are in the back behind the bulkhead. So you have to remember to turn these off before you drive at night, because otherwise you're pulling over to do it. Let's see what the front's like. Okay, and now you join me in the front, which is nicer than basically any other T6 I've ever seen. This has had all of the options thrown at it, pretty much. So it's got a touch screen with the radio, which I'll have to turn off for copyright reasons. But look, it beeps and everything. Amazing. No sat-nav though. A DSG gearbox. Quite rare, again, in a van. Heated windscreen. No one got that. No one. It was very expensive. This one has it. So if you're looking for a ski-mobile, I think this would be ideal. Otherwise, you have, you know, kind of standard VW stuff as a good sized, effectively car steering wheel. You have your climate controls here that are real buttons. As I've said, there's the radio. Gear sticks there. You've got a little coin slot down here and a 12-volt socket. You also have a 12-volt socket up here. And then there's also a USB here. Now onto the van practicality. Yeah, cup holders up here on the dashboard. It's ideal for drinking while you're driving. Soft beverages only, guys. No lawsuits. There's another cubby up here. You could fit the Sun or another terrible newspaper. There's no sunglasses holder here, though. No, that's terrible. That's because VW have been smart. They put it here, where you'd have your grab handle if you were a passenger. But you don't need one as the driver, because you'll be helmsmaning the steering wheel, obviously. You have a multi-tiered dashboard with a glove box below it, so lots and lots of storage for the passenger. And of course, classically, a 2-tiered door pocket system. So you've got the higher ones here you can reach easily, and then the low ones for massive things that you have to let yourself be really distracted from driving to reach down and grab. There's also a nice little cubby space up here where you can keep your MOT test certificate and your service schedule. And the seats are great as well. You've got an armrest like a Range Rover. So this or a Range Rover. Because I'll be honest, 2016 Range Rover is also about the same price as this, so you pick. But they do have a lot of adjustment in them, and you can walk through. I'll go immediately off camera if I do this, but look, leave the camera where it is. Look, I could go to the back. I've just knocked my microphone off. And now I'm back here, see? Can you see me? I'm back here in the back. But watch this. I'm coming through to the front. I'm walking through, I'm stepping through. But now the armrest is down and it's making it difficult to sit. Here we go. And you get an armrest on this side. So it's like having an armchair. Lovely. Let's see if it's as lovely to drive. Okay, so now we're driving in the VW T6 Transporter. First things first, this has a pretty trad van driving position. So you're high up, you've got glass down towards your knees, so the view is excellent. Obviously this one has the bulkhead. It does have a window in it, and then there's the rear window, so that somewhat impedes the view behind you. It's like looking at a reflection in a black marble surface rather than a proper mirror. But the side mirrors are massive, so all of that stuff, trad van, it's great. If you like vans, you'll like this. If you like elevated driving positions, you'll probably like this. The actual driving experience, how does it handle? Well, it's floaty. She's a floater. Very light, numb steering. There's not a huge amount of throttle feel either, and I have noticed that at low speeds it's quite difficult to modulate. Now that is something that comes with DSGs in general, is you do find it a bit tricky to maneuver, so you'll find yourself maybe slightly pogoing around car parks, but it's not too bad. I'm slowing right down for this corner because that's how it feels. Yeah, really just no feedback from the steering at all. So for long distance driving though, it's a good seat. You got your armrest, you got your good view. I've got the air conditioning set just so, and it's very relaxed. I can see why someone would want to use one of these to facilitate their skiing trip or mountain biking holiday, because while it is a van, it's not tiring. You're not getting loads of vibrations in the cabin. You can't even particularly hear the engine at cruise. Of course, if I put my foot down, it's there. There's also quite a lag between putting my foot down and it moving off. But this is a twin turbocharged 2-litre diesel engine. So there's a lot of building of boost that has to happen, and the DSG has to kick down. So I'm not in sports mode. So maybe there's a car behind me, but if I switch down and then floor it, No, sports mode doesn't seem to make a huge difference. It's just holding onto the gears for longer. So slow right down for this corner again. The brakes are quite good. There's a decent amount of feel in the pedal, and it's nice and progressive at speed. Though again, we've noticed that it's a little bit jerky at lower speeds. So that will be adding to your interesting experience if you're trying to park in a multi-story or something. If you've never driven a van before, I've got to say, you should give it a try. The forward view is just something else. It's like driving in IMAX. It's fantastic. You can just see everything. It's like being in an old Range Rover or any old car, really. The stats on this make it pretty comparable to driving a car in terms of the general experience. So 180 horsepower, that means 0 to 60 in around 10 seconds. Obviously with the DSG, that's all just handled for you. So it really it bridges across the gap between a full-on white van and something you might actually want to own as an individual. But oh my god, yeah, you really get no sense of reassurance in the corners. I have no concept of where the wheels are pointing other than the direction in which the van is currently travelling. Understeer would be terribly frightening in this. Doesn't seem to understeer though. Of course, I'm not pushing it. The ride is a little bouncy, but you do have quite a long wheelbase, and I'm sure with more weight in the back it'll probably actually settle down and handle even better, because obviously this is designed to take heavy loads. So squirt up to 60. Whee! The ride in general is pretty good. It's not as refined as a car, but you do have a long wheelbase on your side. This has been lowered, so actually it probably is even better in a standard van. But it's a bit bouncy. I'm imagining it's because the suspension is designed to take quite a heavy load, up to 2 tons in the back of this one. More than 2, what was it? T30?
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, so the gross vehicle weight for this van is up to 3 tons, which would mean a lot of stuff in the back, and the springs will have been designed with that in mind. The materials here in the cabin are obviously fit for purpose rather than full of luxury. There's a lot of hard plastics, even up on the dash right here. The steering wheel has done the traditional VW thing of going slightly sticky. But of course, if you very much object to that, I'm sure you could get a wheel cover or something. I'm really rather enjoying myself in here. There's a certain level of excitement created by the ponderous nature of the handling. And certainly on a B road like this, it leads to what is a busy driving experience, but is also quite a fun one. You feel like you have to hustle it along a little bit, tame it to some extent. It's not a driver's car though. I'm not saying it's like, I'm not kissing the apexes and enjoying feeling the edge of the grip. It's more about keeping it on the road than pushing it to the limit. Can I palm it though? Oh, it's palmable. It's palmable, ladies and gentlemen. I shall take 2. I'd be quite happy driving in one of these to the Alps or somewhere similar. The engine offers a good level of refinement. There's plenty of power. On a smooth surface, the ride is good. There's not a huge amount. I mean, I'm not going to say there's none, but there's not a huge amount of creaks or rattles in here. And those that there are mostly coming from the fitted bulkhead. So I know that's not saying a lot in terms of a car, especially a car from 2016. But in terms of a van, that's quite a rare thing. Get around this cyclist. There we go. It's quite exceptional for a van to be this refined, this easy to live with as a normal drivable vehicle rather than something to be used for work. And I can see why VW transporters are so popular because of that. All of the controls operate as I would expect them to. Yes, there's not a lot of steering feel, and yes, the throttle is a bit laggy because it's a heavily turbocharged 2-litre diesel engine. but I wouldn't expect anything else from a van. It's ideal. This is, you know, VW know what they're doing. They've been in this game, the leisure van game, as it were, for longer than just about anybody. The T1 came out in the 50s. Right, well, I think I've nattered on for long enough, so let's go back and do a conclusion. So there we go, the VW T6 Trans, an excellent van. Refinement's fantastic. You could drive this for miles. I can absolutely see this being ideal as a lifestyle vehicle if you want to put in bikes, skis, a canoe. Just go crazy. You probably fit a quad bike back there. There's so much room. Perfect for that. And if you want to buy just a normal van version, that's going to be really good as well. Now, personally, with the prices being where they are at the moment, I would be tempted to go and look at a brand new T7 multivan alongside something like this, because this is 30 grand. It's 70,000 miles. It's 2016, so it's 7 years old. You're spending 30 grand on it, or you could get a brand new T7 multivan, and with finance, there's going to be a very marginal difference, and then you have a brand new van with a petrol engine and a hybrid system. And that does drive fully like a car. This drives like a van. But that's up to you. So thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. If you go down to the description, you'll find the link for Parkgate Leisure, where you can look at the listing for this van. You will also find 3 ways to support the channel. We have a merch store. You can buy lovely merchandise like this. We have Patreon and channel memberships if you'd like to stay right here on YouTube and support us. With all that being said, I'll see you next time. Bye.